Today, we're breaking down something that many professionals say they understand, but very few can clearly explain. Scrum tools. Not theory, not buzzwords, not certification vocabulary. Real tools, used by real teams to deliver real results. If you work in Agile or want to move into an Agile role, you must understand how these tools connect. Because Scrum is not just meetings, it's visibility, it's structure, it's controlled flexibility. By the end of this session, you'll understand how work flows, how commitment is made, how progress is tracked, and how risk is exposed early. Let's begin. Section 1. Product Backlog. The product backlog is the foundation of Scrum. Think of it as the master inventory of everything that could improve the product, not just features, everything. A mature product backlog typically contains 4 types of items: features, bugs, technical work, knowledge acquisition. Let's break those down. Features. Features are new capabilities that deliver user value. Most teams write features as user stories. The format is simple. As a user, I want something so that I get a benefit. For example, as a customer, I want to filter results by price so that I can find affordable options. Notice something important. The focus is on the user outcome, not technical implementation. That keeps teams aligned with value. Bugs. Now, here's a mindset shift. In Scrum, a bug is not treated as a separate category of work. It's simply something that affects user value. If it impacts experience, it belongs in the backlog. Whether it's a new feature or a defect correction, both represent value gaps. Technical work. Technical work protects the future. These are items users may never see directly. Examples include database upgrades, security improvements, infrastructure changes, refactoring legacy code. If teams ignore technical backlog items, velocity eventually collapses. Technical debt is silent, but it compounds. Knowledge acquisition. Scrum also allows for research. This is called knowledge acquisition. Sometimes teams don't yet know the right solution, so they create backlog items like evaluate a cloud vendor, test AI integration, research automation tools. This prevents blind commitments. Scrum embraces learning. Prioritization. The product owner prioritizes the backlog based on business value, risk, dependencies, customer urgency, strategic impact. High value stays at the top. Lower value moves down. And here's the key principle. The backlog evolves constantly. It is never final. Section 2. Sprint planning. Now we move from strategy to execution. During sprint planning, the product owner presents the top prioritized items. The team then decides, what can we complete this sprint? Important principle. The team chooses the work, not management, not stakeholders, not executives. Why? Because the team is accountable for delivery. Ownership creates commitment. Section 3. Sprint backlog. Once items are selected, they move into the sprint backlog. The sprint backlog contains selected user stories and the tasks required to complete them. This is the execution plan for the sprint. Breaking stories into tasks. Let's take an example. User story. As a member, I can update billing information. That story might break into tasks like update the user interface, modify the back-end API, Add validation rules. Write automated tests. Update documentation. Smaller tasks create clarity. They allow work to be shared. They expose hidden effort. They reduce surprises. Estimation. Most teams estimate tasks in hours. This gives visibility into capacity. But here's the rule. The team owns the estimate because they own the commitment. Daily updates. During the sprint backlog is updated daily, often during the daily scrum. Remaining work is recalculated. If new information appears, estimates adjust. Transparency prevents last-minute panic. Section 4. Task Board. Now we make work visible. The Scrum Task Board is a visual control system. It shows what needs to be done, what is in progress, what is waiting for verification, what is complete. Typical columns: to do, in progress, to verify, done. As work moves forward, cards move across the board. This eliminates hidden work. Anyone can see the sprint's health instantly. Why task boards work. Task boards expose bottlenecks. If everything is stuck in progress, you have overload. If to verify is piling up, testing is lagging. If to do never shrinks, scope may be unrealistic. Visibility reduces micromanagement. It increases accountability naturally. Physical or digital. Boards can be physical, sticky notes on a wall, or digital, Jira, Azure DevOps, Trello. The platform doesn't matter. Visibility does. Section 5. Sprint Burndown. Now we measure progress inside the sprint. The sprint burndown chart tracks remaining work. On the horizontal axis, days in the sprint. On the vertical axis, work remaining. Each day, the line should trend downward, toward zero. Warning signals. If the line flattens, work isn't completing. If the line spikes upward, scope was added or estimates changed. The burndown is not for blame, it's an early warning system. Realistic scenario. Imagine it's day 13 of a 20-day sprint, and the chart shows heavy remaining work. The product owner may remove lower priority stories. Scope adjusts. The sprint goal stays protected. Scrum allows controlled adaptation. Section 6. Release Burndown. While sprint burndown tracks short-term progress, release burndown tracks long-term delivery. It shows progress across multiple sprints. If the project started with 360 story points and 6 sprints were planned, the team needs to average 60 per sprint. If velocity changes, forecast adjusts. If scope grows, the line moves upward. This gives leadership clarity. How it all connects. Let's connect the system. Product backlog is strategic. Sprint backlog is tactical. Task board is operational. Sprint burndown is short-term tracking. Release burndown is long-term forecasting. Together, they create transparency. They reduce uncertainty. They expose risk early. They enable adaptation. Final message. Scrum tools are not about paperwork. They are about clarity. Clarity creates predictability. Predictability builds trust. Trust builds momentum. If these tools are not visible in your Agile environment, you are not doing Scrum. You are doing meetings, and there is a difference. If this breakdown helped you understand Scrum at a deeper level, subscribe to Lean Learning Lane because clarity builds careers, and strategy builds results.